Once upon a time, in a land where the nights were as bright as the days, there was a small village named Lumina, nestled at the edge of an enchanted forest. This village was renowned for its moonlit garden, a magical place where flowers bloomed only under the light of the moon, their petals glowing with a soft, silvery radiance. The garden was tended by a kind-hearted woman named Orelia, who had inherited the task from her mother and grandmother before her. Orelia had a deep connection with the garden and its magical flowers. Every night, she would walk among the blossoms, singing a gentle lullaby that seemed to make them shine even brighter. The villagers adored Orelia and often visited the garden to bask in its calming beauty and seek solace from their troubles. However, not far from Lumina, there was a dark, shadowy forest where the light of the moon never reached. This forest was home to a grumpy old sorcerer named Moros, who was envious of the moonlit garden's beauty and the joy it brought to the villagers. Moros had tried for years to create his own magical garden, but his flowers withered and died without the moon's light. One night, driven by jealousy and anger, Moros decided to cast a powerful spell to steal the moon's light and plunge Lumina into darkness. With his dark magic, he created a thick, impenetrable fog that spread across the land, blocking the moon's light from reaching the village and the moonlit garden. The villagers were distraught as their beloved garden wilted and the village fell into gloom. Orelia, heartbroken but determined, decided to seek out the source of the dark magic and restore the moon's light to Lumina. She gathered her courage and ventured into the shadowy forest, guided by the faint glow of a single moonflower she had brought with her. As Orelia made her way through the forest, she encountered various creatures who had also suffered under Moros' dark magic. A wise old owl named Sage offered her guidance, a mischievous fox named Flick gave her a vial of stardust for protection, and a timid but kind-hearted deer named Fawn led her to Moros' lair. When Orelia arrived at the sorcerer's dark and twisted garden, she found Moros muttering angrily over his failing flowers. Summoning her courage, Orelia stepped forward and spoke, "Moros, your darkness has brought suffering to Lumina and its people. I beg you to lift the spell and return the moon's light to us." Moros sneered at her, his eyes filled with bitterness. "Why should I? Your garden flourishes while mine remains lifeless. It is not fair." Orelia, with compassion in her voice, replied, "The moon's light is meant to be shared, not hoarded. If you lift the spell, I will help you create a garden that blooms with its magic." Moros was taken aback by Aurelia's kindness and sincerity. No one had ever offered him help before. After a moment of contemplation, he sighed and said, "Very well, Orelia. I will lift the spell, but you must keep your promise." With a wave of his hand, Moros dispelled the dark fog that had covered Lumina. The moonlight returned, bathing the village and the moonlit garden in its soft, silvery glow once more. The flowers in the garden began to bloom again, their light brighter and more radiant than ever. True to her word, Orelia spent the following nights helping Moros cultivate his garden. She taught him the songs of the moonflowers and showed him how to care for them with love and patience. Slowly, Moros' garden began to thrive, its flowers glowing softly in the moonlight. The villagers of Lumina welcomed Moros with open arms, forgiving him for the darkness he had brought upon them. They celebrated the return of the moon's light with a grand festival in the moonlit garden, where Orelia and Moros stood together, united in their love for the magical flowers. And so, Lumina and its moonlit garden continued to flourish, a beacon of light and hope in the enchanted land. Orelia and Moros became dear friends, tending to their garden side by side, their hearts forever connected by the magic of the moon. The end.